everyone, I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince.
And it's time once again
to recommend things.
Vince!
Yes.
What do you recommend today?
Today I'm recommending a comedian. Not necessarily this specific one, but...
I didn't know they came in those size boxes these days.
Yeah, you know, he's really short, he's kind of compact, you just push this button and there he goes!
Wow, modern technology, it does wonders these days.
But, yeah, I'm recommending George Carlin. Now, I'm not necessarily... he's dead, so unfortunately there's not much you can do to see him in concert. But he was great, and he was one of my favorites growing up. And the thing about George Carlin, and It's Bad For You is good, but I thought that
for you?
Probably not.
Oh, okay. All right.
See, the thing about George Carlin is he's not exactly just a stand-up. I mean, he's also a sit-down and but he's not exactly just a stand-up. He's also sort of a poet, philosopher in some ways. When you start off with his early career, that's where his really funny stuff is. And as it progresses along, he just starts pointing out more things about society. And sure, they're funny, but it's not as funny as it used to be. And I didn't care. I found myself when I was younger just tuning in to rewatch George Carlin just to catch what he's talking about. And it's not the, oh, what's he gonna say? It's more, I really want to know what this guy has to say about society. And he even has a bit where he talks about his mom was talking to some nuns, and because he went to, I think it was a Catholic school. Either way, he went to some religious school, and they were really strict.
Well, if they were nuns,
so I assumed they had to be nuns.
Catholic.
Yeah, I'm assuming that he had to have gone to a Catholic school and therefore had nuns teach him. But it might have just been a really strict religious school. So I'm not going to speak in absolutes. Anyway, there we go. But the people who were running his school, they ran into his mom at some point after he really got into his career, and this is after he'd really cemented himself as a very profane and out there type of comedian. And the mother said to these religious people, said, "Hey, I'm sorry. I know my kid. He's out there just doing these horrible things, and I told him he shouldn't." And the religious people said, no, it's okay. See, you don't get what he's doing. This is what he's doing. He's using profanity to yada yada. And so apparently because the religious people were okay with it, then Carlin's mom was okay with it. So I think that's interesting. I love George Carlin because when he starts his career, his intent was to say, "Isn't he cute? Look at him, isn't he cute? Isn't he cute?" You're happy. But there's not enough I can say about George Carlin to just make it like, please go watch George Carlin. And I know that me recommending George Carlin isn't necessarily recommending like the lesser known comedians, but I think there are some people that get into Carlin and don't realize what they're in for, and they say, "Oh, I expected this to be, fart jokes and whatnot." No, it's not. He's a little more cerebral than that, and he's also very profane, and it's all mixed together. And if you want an idea of how a person can use profanity and be clever, Carlin's it. So yeah, the two big comedians that people usually talk about are Richard Pryor and George Carlin, and for my money, it's George Carlin all the way. But I do like Richard Pryor. But anyway. Carlin, this, to my understanding, I could be wrong about this, but I think this is the only DVD that's not included in George Carlin's All My Stuff, which is a collection of his HBO specials. So yeah, Carlin, All My Stuff, It's Bad For You, everything that's in that collection, go for it. Watch away.
Today, I'm going to recommend a spaceship. Today I'm going to recommend my Borg Cube. This is the Playmates Borg Cube. I want to say this is Playmates. They were making all the big Star Trek toys back in the 90s, and I'm pretty sure that's who made this. This is the next generation Borg Cube. As seen specifically in that show. This is the design from Q Who and Best of Both Worlds at all the Borg episodes from Next Generation. When you get into Voyager, when you get into First Contact and Voyager, they look a little bit different than this. But this is what they started off as. This is fun. This is not a model, of course. This is just a toy, and it has a nice stand. It's got the Borg symbol right there, And when you get it, I actually got this new in the box when I bought it, and of course, you know, it's worth a lot more in the box, but I couldn't help myself, so I took it out. I still have the box, but you know, I had to take it out. So when you get it, it has all these individual pieces that you have to pop on each side, so it doesn't come actually with you. So if you drop it or something, they pop off. But there's no real reason to tell you that. But
don't drop your Borg; it's bad.
It does
for
light
you.
up and make sounds. It's extremely loud, but I'll play this if you want to. In fact, turn the lights off real quick. If you want to, because it does light up a little bit. We'll see if we can see it. There you go. Lights up there.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. And I don't know if you can kind of see behind us, but it actually puts, see the lights all over your wall. It's kind of neat. It's a really loud and bizarre, cheap, I'm gonna turn the lights back on, disco ball. Anyway, disco cube. But anyway,
it's a disco Borg.
so I just thought I'd recommend that if you can find it anywhere. I have some other spaceships, starships of this scale from Star Trek, but this is one of my favorites. I was wanting this for a long, long time, and I finally found it at a reasonable price. So anyway, I got this. Well, actually, I got this a few months ago. I've had this sitting around a while.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. So anyway,
so that's all you're going to recommend?
that's all I'm going to recommend. That's it.
There's nothing else you could possibly think of that needs recommending.
Nope. Believe it or not, this is my kid's hat. My son Jason, I bought this for him, and it's elastic, and I had no idea that it was kind of one size fits all, because it fits his head perfectly. It's not like it's really heavy, it's really like bulky on him, but then I found out that I could wear it too, so I thought it would be funny to wear it on the show. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I also recommend wearing knuckles on your head.
You know, I tried wearing knuckles on my head when I got into a bar fight the other day. And it ended up hurting a lot more than that Knuckles does.
It was a little different, huh?
Yeah.
It was Knuckles like it was like it's like Sonic 3 Knuckles as opposed to Knuckles Chaotix Knuckles. He was still a little rough and tumble at that point.
I also ended up wearing feet and slaps on my head. And
in slaps.
Yes, slaps.
Yeah, not my favorite Sonic character. I've never been a big fan of slaps.
Yeah. You know, they were going to call Sonic feets at one point, but then they realized that's not the plural of foot.
You know, I don't think that game would have sold as well. Slaps the Hedgehog.
Slaps! You know, I would have played a game where all you did was slap a hedgehog.
Pretty sure that's called Whack-A-Mole. Anyway, well, thanks a lot for watching us recommend things. We'll recommend something once again for you next week. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince.
See you next time.